The verse with Peter and Angelina. I offer now for the verse as first. Although daytide has barely spoken, I nonetheless shall open our precious token, this mysterious book of poetry sealed with a waxen shield, this gem having been concealed for over 10 centuries in the secret chamber of the library of the old monastery's remainder.
Open it as one would a tender lover.
Lo, a small bottle is encased inside the front cover. Some of its spirit apparently escaped when the volume was undraped, for I've already been captivated by the Persia fumes.
As have I. It's the perfume of ageless rhymes from the ancient looms of time.
This tome is written in some foreign language in verses of 13 syllables, in 4-line stanzas.
We'll have to learn how to read between the lines. It's written in Persian, I've looked, having handled many of the foreign books, in my role as an editor in one of the abbey's nooks.
It's the library's most valuable book, for I've illuminated and unhooked many of the monastery's great books. It was the only one I could save, but it's the only book we'll ever crave. We watched the book moving, amazed.
It's coming to life, like a good husband in the presence of his wife.
I see. The words of the Persian poems are beginning to move about the page as all over it they run, sometimes briefly changing into English ones. Even entire verse lines are dancing, as like a dervish whirling.
They are trying to settle from their struggle, but the words yet again jump and juggle, although at first hanging back, but then ever surging forth, darting around through the verse's course within each stanza, trying to form a brighter source in lines which still state, but in differing aspects, the original and pervading concepts.
'Tis as if this magical language transmogrification is attempting to preserve the entire relation of the original poetic scheme throughout the whole translation process, as devout, including literal meaning, rhythm, rhyme, melody, syllable, meter, and time. However, this doesn't seem workative, and so it follows that something must give, and this could be the ration that is usually lost in translation.
Perhaps. Oh yes, look, out of that apparent desperation, uncaged, the Persian verses are jumping off of the page and splashing into the bottle of perfume,
wherein they are redistilling themselves, subsumed and relumed.
Yes, oh yes, for they are leaping back out and on to the blanked page, whereupon they are recondensing, restaging and recomposing themselves for our time of this age into Victorian-style verse, forming new quatrains in which only the essence of the remains of the original concept of meaning maintains.
Yes, for only some things unnecessary have been lost, and something very new has been added, the theme not tossed, something somehow much better told, although ever within the spirit of the old.
What are you, old book?
Are you alive? By you I shook.
I am the book of life. My page is rife with the antidotes of strife. I am a conscious dream, a living philosophy. I live forever through my words, wholly. On my pages you will find all of man's follies, joys, sorrows, wisdom, as well as all of his jollies. Read me and my ideas will come alive, demonstrating the happiest ways to survive. It is by experiencing my words that you shall know them. Forwards. Yes, the arts may enrich human experience, but they're no substitutes for the living of it.
What is your name? Might I ask of the same?
My name is but a question only, a mystery that you have to solve, namely, what is the name of the rose?
They look for a minute at the tome, deeply inhaling its perfume. The aroma casts a charm on them, granting them an indescribable joy that was quite beyond all sense and thought.
Oh, that scent.
Book, you are Persia fume.
The book is free now too.
It's morning. The stars have taken flight. Night's cup seemed empty, light, bottomless, heartless, and cold.
But the day is about to fill it with gold.
I already feel the touch of dawn as its freshness washes over the lawn. It is a sweetness and a serenity, like a mist that drifts into a valley and fills it fresh, with moisture fully.
I feel it too, and so some refreshment is anticipated. I must reach up to this rosebush unsated to bend down the branch of Moses. Here, let us drink the dew from the roses, then stoop very to pick some strawberries.
What is the name of the rose, I wonder?
As I too was just going to say upon that ponder.
On that we've been as silent as a cloud until we each just spoke it aloud.
Yet I am without answer from the depths unplowed.
We stroll into a flowery area.
What a surprising forest of floral colors, I say. They are lush and soft, in bowers, lavender, crimson, and ever-during green of flowers. The leaves of the previous autumn have made a multicolored carpet spun for our welcome.
Ideas cascade over the mind, the thoughts suddenly loosened in time through the inspiration from our exertion. A light rain is falling that excites our senses, calling, jogging our thoughts, unwalling. Walking is good exercise, spurring thoughts, and I feel energized.
Yes, it gives back much more than it takes. Walking is as easy as falling forward makes.
Oh yes, breathe deeply, relax about, let the thoughts flow up and out.
I love this world and everything it makes. Oh, I am becoming so wide awake. Alertness tingles in my senses, dear. My thoughts are becoming clear.
Breathe in all that's good freely, then breathe out all that's bad, really.
I feel peace flowing into me truly. It's warm, wet, and glad.
It's spreading through your body and into your spirit, is it not, my lady?
Oh yes, dear, yes, my lad. This is the best life I've ever had.
It's like an eager sap rising in the veins. We're inspired by the warmth of the spring rain.
Because we've lived through winter's chills to see yet another round of daffodils.
Like sparks from the smoldering embers, tame, we rekindle our fires from nature's undying flame. Could it be that a rose is a rose is a rose?
No, for that answer would be much too easy to pose.
Now, for the golden verse, as the first. For its olden age, it is none the worse. Although daytide has just barely spoken, I no less will open our precious token. This mystery book of poetry sealed, with waxen shield, it having been concealed for hundreds of years in the secret chamber of the old monastery's remainder.
Ope it as one would attend a lover.
A bottle's encased inside the cover. Its spirit's mist apparently escaped as our fuminous volume was undraped.
I'm captivated by the Persia fumes.
As I. It's the perfume of ageless rhymes, from those grand, learned Sufi looms of time.
We'll have to learn how to read between the lines.
The tome is written in foreign language, in fine verses of 13 syllables, epigrammatic, in 4-line stanzas, it having many swirlers and circulars.
It's written in Middle Persian, I've looked, Having handled many such foreign books, my editors rolled in the abbey's nooks. I thought to hide it in one of the rooks.
The library's most valuable book. For I've illuminated and unhooked many of the monastery's great books. For it a long and joyous month I took. It was the only writing I could save, yet it's the only book we'll ever crave.
What are you, old work?
I add, are you alive? By you I shook. The book replies,
I am the book of life, pages rife with the antidotes of strife. I'm a truth, a living philosophy. I live forever through my words, holy. On my pages are found man's joys, follies, sorrows, wisdom, and all of his jollies. Read me and my ideas will come alive, demonstrating the best ways to survive. It is by experiencing my words that you shall know them, backwards and forwards.
What is your name, might I ask of the same?
My true name is but a question only, a mystery you'll have to solve, namely, what is the name of the rose? Strangely,
We look long at the now quieted tome, deeply inhaling its heady perfume.
Oh, that heavenly, earthly scent.
Oh, book of quatrains, you are Persia fume. We watch the book moving about, amazed, sparkles and twirls whirl out of the pages.
It's rising, breathing, and coming to life, as husband in the presence of his wife. Words bounce around, over the page they run, they often changing into English ones. Even whole verses are now roundly dancing, of the Arabic worlds, dervishes whirling. They're trying to settle from the struggle, but the words do again jump and juggle.
Some hanging back, they're never surging forth, darting around through the poem's long course, then make stanzas, to form a brighter source, from aspects of the pervading concepts.
'Tis as if this transmogrification is trying to preserve all relation of the original schema throughout, the whole translation process devout. Including little means, rhythm, rhyme, melody, syllable, meter, and time, but this doesn't seem to be workative, and so it follows that something must give. And this might well sadly be the ration that is usually lost in translation.
See. Out of that desperation, uncaged, the verses are jumping right off the page, splashing into the bottle of perfume, wherein they are redistilling, subsumed.
Now they're leaping back out, onto the page, recomposing themselves, for this time, our age. Whereupon they're condensing, restaging, into Victorian verse, overpaging, original concepts forming new quatrains in which Omar's meaning's essence remains. The lines are now 10 English syllables, rather than the Arabic 13 quills, yet holding even more related meanings, heretofore unnoted, yet the verses are still in groups of 4 lines per stanza, and the correct lines still rhyme, per lingua, although some of the ending quatrain schemes don't seem to have quite the same rhyming means.
Yes, only the unneeded has been lost, a charm has been added, the good not tossed, it is something somehow much better told, yet e'er within the spirit of the old. What is the name of the rose, I wonder?
I too was to say upon that ponder.
On that we've been as silent as a cloud.
Yes, until we each just spoke it aloud.
I've no answer from the depths and ploughed. What is that flower you're carrying, nun?
It's a rose. I don't know where it came from.
Perhaps it has bloomed from our building love.
I am your rose, that is what it's speaking of. Where does the rose bloom? In love's heart's post?
Yes. What else do you know about the rose?
It's considered the most beautiful of flowers, the ultimate beauty in life and nature.
I love this ancient volume I took, sound, while the monastery burned to the ground.
It's all that knows. I carry this red rose, the ultimate symbol of love that grows.
I feel it. Some refreshment is anticipated. I now reach up to this rose bush, unsated, to bend down the olden branch of Moses. Here, let us drink the dew from the roses.
Inhale the fragrant rush, what is and was.
It's the most beautiful of what nature does.
It could be that a rose smells just as sweet, as Shakespeare said, by another name or tweet.
Perhaps the rose's name doesn't much matter.
Maybe not, but we've our reading matter.
What if a rose is a rose is a rose?
That answer is much too easy to pose.
Mixture of transmogrification of Homer's quatrains into Victorian English, and his reordering of them into a Persian eclogue is primary among the rare conjunctions that made for the greatest poem in history.
Fitzgerald's transmogrification of Homer's quatrains into Victorian English, and his reordering of them into a Persian eclogue is primary among the rare conjunctions.
While writing, much more is drawn from the mind, for there is relative silence with no starting gun, as in speaking, for it is in real time done. The muses sing of one's own depths mind. And muses sing of one's own depths mind. It says on the cover that fumes therein have escaped from an interment within, that it shall take the passerby unaware. Oh, I'm already affected by it, lady. Say on the cover that fumes therein have escaped from an interment within, that it shall take the passer-by unaware, for I'm already affected by its fate.
Sten's name is printed on the label and is called Omar's enchantment, that's all. It's delightful, I savor what it supposes. It's a mixture of incense, wine, and roses.
It's some sort of elixir of time. It well composes, potent and sublime. It also has hints of sandalwood, jasmine, lotus, and bits of gold and saffron fine. It's some sort of elixir of time. It well composes, potent and sublime. It also has hints of sandalwood, jasmine, lotus, and bits of gold and saffron fine. It's a batteries that's potent and sublime. It also has hints of sandalwood, jasmine, lotus, and bits of gold and saffron fine.
Now for a golden verse as the first, for its old and age it is none the worse. Although daytime has just barely spoken, I no less will open our precious token.
This mystery book of poetry sealed with wax and shield, it having been concealed for hundreds of years in the secret chamber of the old monastery's remainder. This mystery book of poetry sealed with wax and shield, it having been concealed for hundreds of years in the secret chamber of the old monastery's remainder.
Open it as one would a tender lover. A bottle's encased inside the cover. Its spirits mist apparently escaped as a fuminous volume.
I'm captivated by the Persia fumes as I eat the perfume of ageless rhymes from those grand learned Sufi looms of time. We'll have to learn how to read between. tome is written in foreign language, in fine verses of 13 syllables, epigrammatic in 4-line stanzas. It hath many swirlers and circulars, circulars. The tome is written in foreign language.
It's written in Middle Persian. I've looked, having handled many such foreign books. My editors roll in the abbey's nooks. I thought to hide it in one of the rooks. Thought to hide it in one of the rooks.
The library's most valuable book, for I've illuminated and unhooked many of the monastery's great books. For it a long and joyous month I took. The library's most valuable book, for I've illuminated and unhooked many of the monastery's great books. For it a long and joyous month I took. To the library's most valuable book.
But I wrote work only asked of the book. I add, are you alive? By you I shook. The book replies, I am the book of life. Pages rife with the antidotes of strife. For you. Sometimes deceitfully, what are you, old work?
I'm a truth, a living philosophy. I live forever through my words holy. On my pages are found man's joys, follies, sorrow's wisdom, and all of his joy. Read me and my ideas will come alive, demonstrating the best ways to survive. It is by experiencing my words that you shall know them backwards and forward. We look long at the now quiet tone, deeply inhaling its heady perfume. Oh, that heavenly, earthly scent she sighs. Oh, book of quatrains, you are Persia few. Oh, we look the now quiet tone, deeply inhaling its heady perfume. Oh, that heavenly, earthly scent, she sighs. Oh, book of quatrains, you are Persia few.
We watch the book moving about amazed. Sparkles and twirls whirl out of the pages. It's rising, breathing, and coming to life. Has a husband in the presence of his wife. We watch the book moving about amazed. Sparkles and twirls whirl out of the pages. It's rising, breathing, and coming to life as a husband.
Words bounce around, over the page they run. They often changing into English ones. Even whole verses are now roundly dancing of the Arabic worlds. Dervishes whirling. There's bounce around, over the page they run. They often changing into English ones. Even whole verses are now roundly dancing of the Arabic worlds.
They're trying to settle from the struggle, but the words do again jump and juggle. Some hanging back, then never surging forth. Did you jump and juggle? Some hanging back, then ever surging forth. Has words to settle from the struggle, but the words do again jump and juggle. Some hanging back, then ever surging forth, but the words do again jump and juggle.
Well, as if this transmogrification is trying to preserve all relation of the original schema throughout the whole translation process. Including little names, rhythm, rhyme, melody, syllable, meter, and time, but this doesn't seem to be working. And so it follows that something must give, and this might well sadly be the ration that is usually lost in translation.
See, out of that desperation, uncaged, the verses are jumping right off the page, splashing into the bottle of perfume. wherein they are distilling subsume.
Now they're leaping back out onto the page, recomposing themselves for this time. Our age. Now they're leaping back out onto the page, recomposing themselves for this time. Our age. Just what a tale of saving. Now they're leaping back out to the page, recomposing themselves for this time. Our age. Just what a page. I got you sing themselves for this time. Whereupon they condensing, restaging into Victorian verse, overpainting original concepts, forming new quatrains in which Omar's meaning's essence remains. Whereupon they're condensing, restaging into Victorian verse, over paginal concepts, forming new quatrains in which Omar's meaning's essence remains. The lines are now turning syllables, rather than the Arabic 13 quills, yet holding even more related meanings, heretofore unknown. The verses are still in groups of 4 lines per stanza, and the correct lines still rhyme per lingua. Though some of the ending quatrain schemes don't seem to have quite the same rhyming beat. Only the unneeded has been lost. A charm has been added, the good not tossed. It is something somehow much better told, yet air within the spirit of the old. Now only the unneeded has been lost. A charm has been added, the good not tossed. It is something somehow much better told, yet air within the spirit of the old.